Hi guys, I'm Ali.
And I'm Constantina, and we did How Animals Experience Joy.
So I wanted to start off by showing y'all my dog. This is Lucy, and a lot of some of the originations of like our questioning came from my experiences with her these past few months because my mom, she just got married and she got like really busy and she's always sending her to be like taken care of and nannied, and it made me really sad that she's not like with her family. But then she like said that her nanny like sends pictures and she's very happy making new friends, and I don't know about y'all, but I can like clearly see a smile on her face. So it made me feel a lot better. With that being said, some of our objectives are to provide personal experiences from our pets, including y'all's experiencing joy, to describe how animals experience joy and back it up with research, and explain how animal behaviors can be similar or different to that of humans. So we're going to cover some of the things that y'all submitted.
Can I ask, is this a bit too bright for people, or is it fine?
The lights?
Yeah.
I can turn it down.
Your place.
There you go, that's good.
Let's hold on a second while we fix the lights.
No, she just did it.
What's that?
She just did it.
Oh, very good.
So,
there you go, you don't need me.
for our personal examples, we wanted to invite you guys to kind of give us insight into how you think your pet is experiencing joy. So I guess we could start with Jinyu if you have anything to say on like what you think your cat does or expresses when it's experiencing joy.
I think he was opening his mouth, so I think like maybe he wanted to buy something, and I guess it's a sign to like pets showing his joy. I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Your next example is Brooke.
Oh
So
yeah.
many videos to choose from.
Yeah, so we have three golden retrievers on my street at home. And I think they experience joy a lot, and they're very expressive with it, like wagging their tails, always getting toys and stuff. So they're really cute.
I would definitely say out of most dog breeds, I always tend to feel like Goldens are very joyful creatures. Lastly,
Yeah, this is my pet's Shih Tzu Toby. And yeah, you guys wanted to know the name. And things that bring him joy are toys that he can see, and also being outside. He has his own trampoline. So yeah.
Does he jump on the trampoline?
He just lays.
and then Jesse's cat.
She's not here.
Oh.
She's gone.
Well,
Unfortunately.
we'll just have to imagine. But they're very cute.
They look very content and at peace. So, like we mentioned, sometimes that sense of contentment and satisfaction is joy. So,
Alright, so moving on to more of our research, how do animals experience joy? So one of the things that we said in our objectives was being able to understand how we compare to these animals. So this article explains that many animals experience joy in ways that are actually pretty similar to humans. One of the strongest indicators is play. So we talk about toys a lot, things like jumping, chasing, wrestling, or engaging in activities that don't have like immediate survival purpose are ways that our pets can express joy. These behaviors suggest animals do something simply because they enjoy them and not because they need to do them. And the article also talks about how joy strengthens social bonding. For example, animals that play or interact affectionately often release feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin, which are the same neurotransmitters associated with humans' happiness. What's really interesting is that joy isn't only seen in mammals, but it's also seen in birds and dolphins, and even some reptiles show emotional expressions that researchers have been able to show.
So this next piece is actually a book titled The Emotional Lives of Animals, and a lot of our sources are from the same guy, Mark Bakoff. He did a lot of research about the emotional lives of animals. But a big portion of this book was geared towards how animals experience joy. And he highlighted that many mammals share limbic structures that are tied to the experience of emotions, not just limited to joy, but like the things that we talked about, the amygdala, the hippocampus, the hypothalamus, all of these things make us capable of joy. And since a lot of mammals have these structures, it's very reasonable to infer that they do experience joy along with other emotions. Yes, and then they also have, animals have also been shown to have hormonal responses to certain stimuli, including increases in dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin, like Constantina just said. And according to Baykoff, these emotional responses are evolutionarily adaptive and help animals to navigate their social and physical world. So they allow them to make connections, create community, and like navigate just the things going on around them. But his research also indicated that joy in particular has like a clear social benefits, and it strengthens bonds, improves coordination, facilitates learning, and specifically with play in like dogs, wolves, and coyotes, it shows that being joyful and having those joyful interactions build cooperation and trust among animals, especially animals that like survive in packs or like some sort of group formation. But like I said, the book overall emphasizes that animals likely don't just experience joy, they are capable of experiencing a wide range of emotions such as grief, anger, and love, and how these behaviors are shown through things like play, vocalizations, vows, and like different types of body language really indicate to us that animals have a much richer emotional life than maybe previously suggested.
So this next article was also about evidence of joy in play. It kind of repeats a lot of what was said in the previous article I talked about, but one of the most interesting highlights I found was that one of the coolest findings is that rats actually produce ultrasonic laughter sounds when they're tickled or playing with each other, which suggests real enjoyment. And I just feel like this really goes to show, you know, this whole, like most of this presentation and most of the videos we submitted are kind of more like pet animals, but this just goes to show that even, you know, animals that we would not think of, like a rat, can also experience joy. It notes that many animals invent their own games or return to activities they find fun, which points to a kind of emotional and cognitive complexity. So in other words, they're not just responding instinctively, but they're actively choosing behaviors that make them feel joy.
This next study, entitled Joyful by Nature, actually conducted a bunch of like observational studies, including enrichment studies, where they introduced toys, puzzles, or like novel stimuli to animals such as dogs, and comparing their responses across like welfare conditions, which is like something that might be really stimulating, like a room full of toys or other animals, compared to like a room where it's just like blank and alone. And they had different emotional responses that were tracked by their physiological and neurochemical conditions. So they monitored dopamine, endorphin levels, heart rate, and hormonal markers, and found increases that were very parallel to the way humans react to interactions such as that in play. And so that's like very clear evidence that these animals do experience emotions in a meaningful way. I thought it also, like, when it said like novel stimuli, I thought it was really interesting to note that, because like we also take joy in like the novelty of items, like, I don't know.
Shopping.
Yeah. So it's like animals find joy in very similar ways than we do, and just because it doesn't look the exact same, like they can't buy the things that make them joyful, they still experience it.
So this next piece discussed how our mood can affect animals and vice versa. So the article explores a really interesting question. Does the mood we're in affect how our dogs read? The researchers ran two experiments where they put participants into different moods, positive, neutral, or negative, and then had them watch short videos of dogs showing positive, neutral, or negative emotional states. So in experiment 1, people were primed with images unrelated to animals. So even though these images successfully shifted their moods, the mood differences did not change how participants interpreted the dog's emotions. So even when people felt happier or sadder, they rated the dog's emotional states almost the exact same. But in experiment 2, they changed things. When the priming images were pictures of dogs themselves, participants showed the opposite of what researchers expected. People in a negative mood rated the dog as more positive, while people in a positive mood rated the dogs as more negative. This is called a contrast effect, meaning participants reacted in the opposite direction of their mood instead of matching it. This is especially interesting because past studies with human faces usually show the opposite, where people tend to project their mood onto others. And another key finding was that simply watching dog videos, even videos of stressed or neutral dogs, boosted participants' moods. I don't know about you guys, but my entire TikTok for you page is videos of cats or dogs, and that definitely boosts my mood. This just shows how powerful dogs are as emotional stimuli for humans. So now we can kind of just get into a overall summary of what we learned. So looking across the research, all the books and articles that we read, one of the biggest things we learned is that joy is not exclusive to humans. That was honestly the point that we really were trying to make here. Animals experience joy in ways that are visible and measurable, and surprisingly similar to our own emotional expressions. Play is one of the strongest indicators, whether it's rats laughing in frequencies, dogs doing play, or dolphins inventing their own games. These actions show that animals seek out pleasure, not just as survival. We also learned that joy has a biological basis across species. Many animals release dopamine and oxytocin during positive interactions, which are the same chemicals that humans associate with love, bonding, and happiness. This again reinforces that joy isn't just a human feeling, but it's something rooted in how brains and bodies respond to the world.
I also wanted to add that a lot of our sources were repetitive of
Yeah.
one another, and 2 of our sources were even written by the same person, so there just goes to show that there's not a lot of research being done in this field, and there's still a lot more to learn about animals and the way they experience joy and emotions. So
And that's another reason why a lot of you guys had surveys and stuff. It's kind of hard to exactly measure how animals experience joy in a survey or something like that. So that's why we really wanted to get into the grit of what articles and everything were out there, because that's all we really could do. But yeah, hope you enjoy.